The light from the screen doesn't ask permission. It just enters the retina, triggers the suprachiasmatic nucleus, and the brain shifts its attentional weight before a single conscious thought has formed. A notification appears. The sound, if there even is one, lasts less than a second. But the cascade it triggers will pull focus away from the person mid-sentence, the task mid-breath, the quiet mid-thought. No one signs a contract. No one clicks, "I agree to be commodified." The transaction happens at the synaptic level, in the space between stimulus and voluntary response, and by the time awareness catches up, the sale is already complete. Attention has been extracted, bundled, and priced. The machinery beneath this moment is vast and elegant. Every colored choice, every transitional animation, every algorithmic sorting decision has been calibrated against one metric: time on platform. Not your well-being, not even your satisfaction, though satisfaction is useful when it keeps you closer. The product is the stretch of conscious focus you surrender, measured in milliseconds and monetized in microseconds. Advertisers bid on it in real-time exchanges that operate faster than your blink. A flicker of hesitation, an extra half-second on a thumbnail, and the system logs it, auctions it, and reinvests the profit into making the next extraction smoother. The screen in your hand is not a window. It is a mining operation wearing a friendly face. The vulnerability they're mining isn't greed or laziness. It's something older and softer, the need to be seen. Every notification carries a ghost of social approval. Someone liked, someone replied, someone remembered you exist. The dorsal striatum, a region involved in reward processing, activates not just when you receive social validation, but when you anticipate it. The platforms know this precise anticipatory window. They stretch it. The notification badge appears without revealing the content, and that small red number becomes a slot machine lever. You pull it. Sometimes there's nothing meaningful. Sometimes there's a message that makes your chest warm. The unpredictability is the mechanism, not an accident. Your attention isn't being taken by force. It's being lured by the oldest promise in the mammalian brain. Someone out there knows you're here. Behind the screen, the auction never pauses. Every millisecond your eyes rest on a post. An advertiser has already valued that glance. Programmatic exchanges, real-time bidding systems slice your attention into inventory units and sell them before the next pixel renders. The ad that appears after the third scroll isn't random. It's the winner of a silent war fought in microseconds, the highest bidder for your particular demographic profile, your recent search history, your location, your inferred mood. Your focus has a market price that fluctuates throughout the day, higher in moments of vulnerability, lower when you're distracted. The platform's only job is to keep the supply steady. Your only role is to stay. The commodity leaves your body through your eyes, and you feel nothing leaving, which is the design's quietest horror. The architecture depends on interruption, not immersion. A notification is not a courtesy. It's a hooked blade that pulls you out of whatever holding pattern your mind had settled into and deposits you back onto the platform's terrain. There's a term for what happens next: attention residue. When you switch tasks, part of your cognition stays behind, still chewing on the previous thought, and your performance on the new task degrades. The platforms don't just accept this residue, they engineer for it. Every ping, every banner, Every while you were away summary is designed to break the fragile continuity of your own thinking, because fragmented attention returns to the feed more often. A mind that can sustain its own direction is a threat to the auction. A mind perpetually interrupted is a reliable supplier. The social validation mechanics are not subtle. The like counter, the follower number, the comment thread, each one is a quantized hit of belonging, and the ventral tegmental area releases dopamine, not at the confirmation of approval, but at the possibility of it. The platforms learned early that if they delay the feedback, stagger the delivery, withhold the count until you return, your brain will chase the uncertainty harder than any certainty. The need to be approved of is not a weakness. It is a mammalian inheritance, a survival mechanism that kept ancestors inside the protection of the group. But here, it is leveraged against you, turned into a lever that extracts attention by promising perhaps that someone, somewhere, has validated your existence. The blue light on the camera notch is not an indicator. It is a slot machine arm wrapped in belonging, and every pull makes someone else a fraction of a cent richer. There is a particular cruelty in the way the metrics are public. The follower count is not a number you keep privately. It sits beside your name, visible to everyone, including yourself. The brain's social comparison circuitry, the medial prefrontal cortex. The anterior insula activates automatically, comparing your number to others, telling where you stand in a hierarchy no one admits they're tracking, and the platform knows this. The visibility of these metrics is not a feature of transparency. It is a pressure point, a soft spot pressed repeatedly to keep you checking, posting, performing, feeding the auction with fresh content that will keep other people's attention close enough to harvest. You are not merely the crop. You are also the farmer, tilling your own social anxiety to plant seeds that someone else will sell. The body registers the stakes even if the conscious mind dismisses them. A post that receives no likes triggers the same neural pathways as social rejection, the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the same region that lights up during physical pain. The silence after you throw something of yourself into the feed is processed by the brain as a small abandonment. The platform's response is not to console, but to offer another chance. Try again, post differently, use a different filter, tag someone. The loop tightens. Pain of rejection drives creation. Creation drives engagement. Engagement drives ad inventory. Your need to belong, bruised and seeking repair, becomes the fuel that powers a $1 trillion machine. You came for connection. You stayed to be measured, and the measuring tool is a cash register. The machinery eventually stops needing the content to be good. Your attention, once it has been sufficiently trained by variable rewards, will hold steady even on material that brings no joy, no insight, no satisfaction. A flat resentment begins to accumulate toward the platform, toward the other users, toward yourself, but resentment does not break the loop. It feeds it. Outrage is one of the stickiest emotions the brain produces, flooding the system with norepinephrine, sharpening focus, demanding action. The algorithms learned this early. Content that engages you holds your attention longer than content that pleases you. The auction doesn't care about your emotional state, only its duration. Whether you leave the app feeling fulfilled or hollow is irrelevant to the ledger. The only metric is minutes. And after enough cycles, A strange numbness sets in. Not peace, not satisfaction, just a reduction of signal, a flattening of the inner landscape that used to contain boredom, curiosity, spontaneous memory, the small, unexpected thoughts that surface when the mind wanders freely. The platforms have colonized the wandering. There is no idle moment left unfilled, no gap in which your own mind might speak back to you in its own voice. The attention economy doesn't just sell your focus during active use. It atrophies your capacity to direct it at all, replacing internal volition with external trigger. A generation is learning that the sensation of agency, of choosing what to think about, feels strange, almost effortful, compared to the smooth gravity of the feed. The final product of the attention extraction machine is not a clicked ad. It is a human being who has forgotten how to pay attention to anything that isn't monetized. The commodity itself is degrading. Attention, mass extracted and sold in bulk, has diminished in quality across the entire market. A second of human focus in 2024 is not what it was in 2004. It is shallower, more fragmented, less likely to persist through difficulty, more easily hijacked by the next competing stimulus. The advertisers know this and price accordingly, demanding higher volumes to achieve the same impact. The platforms respond by intensifying extraction, more notifications, shorter content, louder emotional triggers, faster turnover. The system escalates not because it wants more, but because the resource it mines, sustained conscious awareness, is being depleted faster than it regenerates, and the supply chain requires ever-increasing throughput to maintain the same yield. You feel this depletion as a chronic, low-grade distractibility, a sense that your mind can't hold the note anymore. That sense is not a personal failing. It's soil exhaustion. There is no outside to this economy, not fully. Even when the phone is face down and silent, the internal architecture remains the trained impulse to check, the phantom vibration, the slight anxiety that rises when nothing pulls at your attention. The grooves carved by years of extraction do not disappear during a digital detox. They wait. The brain has been conditioned to treat commercialized attention as the default state, and returning to it feels less like a choice and more like gravity. The platforms do not need to hold you captive. They only need you to return, briefly, regularly, and the neurochemical machinery they installed, with your unknowing consent, through your own repeated behavior, will do the rest. The most profitable attention is not the kind taken by force. It is the kind given automatically by a mind that no longer remembers it could be doing anything else. The cost becomes visible only in its absence. When the phone dies and the charger is in another room, there is a brief, startling moment where the mind, suddenly unclaimed, doesn't know what to do with itself. It reaches for the usual shape and finds nothing. The silence that follows is not peaceful. It is restless, twitchy, slightly threatening, as if the absence of input has revealed something hollow underneath. This is the real inventory that was taken, not the minutes, not the data, the capacity to be alone with one's own thoughts without flinching. That capacity was not lost. It was extracted, siphoned off in micro-units, and resold as someone else's quarterly growth. What remains is a person-shaped space where a private interior life used to be, and still the auction floor never closes. While you sleep, The ad exchanges hum and server racks cooled by fans that spin without rest. Your profile sits in databases, ready to be revalued the moment you wake and reach for the screen. The first seconds of your morning attention, still soft, still impressionable, are the most valuable inventory of the day. The platforms know this. The notifications are queued, the feed is pre-sorted. The hooks are set. Before you have spoken a single word to another human being, your conscious focus has already been priced, bid on, and sold. The morning sun hits your face, and somewhere in a data center 3,000 miles away, a ledger ticks upward by a fraction of a cent. The transmission ends here. The auction does not. There is no moment of reckoning. No regulatory hearing will return what was taken. No dashboard displays the cumulative total of your attention hours sold to the highest bidder. The transaction is designed to leave no receipt. You will not receive a statement at the end of the year listing the minutes you donated to an algorithmic feed instead of a conversation, the seconds you poured into an outrage loop instead of the book on your nightstand. The invisibility of the extraction is the extraction's final refinement. A theft that goes unrecorded cannot be grieved, cannot be repaid, cannot even be named as theft. It simply accumulates a silent tax on consciousness, levied by an entity that has no name and no address and no liability for what it cost to be human in this century. The light remains on in your hand, and it always will. There is no unplugging the economy, no opting out of the auction, while still participating in the world it has reorganized. Your attention is still being sliced and sold as these words reach you, still being bid on by advertisers who value it more precisely than you do. The knowing does not stop the extraction, but it changes something small, something almost imperceptible. It places a ghost in the machinery of your own mind, a quiet observer who now sees the sale as it happens. That observer does not reclaim the stolen attention. It simply witnesses. And witnessing, in an economy that depends on your unconscious compliance, is its own small rebellion. The transmission ends here. The auction, of course, does not.